Greetings. Welcome to yet another edition of Political Empire. I'm Jeff Horseman with the Press Enterprise and PE.com, and we got a good show for you today. We're going to be talking a little bit about the race, what's going on in the 36th Congressional District, just how close that's gotten, how much money's being spent, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the race for Hemet City Council, which is rather crowded with 9 candidates. So first, we're looking at a photo finish in the 36, which covers everything from the Arizona state line to Hemet and Banning and Beaumont, and it features incumbent Republican Mary Bono Mack of Palm Springs taking on Democratic challenger Raul Ruiz. And it's a pretty fierce contest. It's gotten pretty heated, accusations that Ruiz led protests against Thanksgiving as a medical student, and Bono Mack has been described as out of touch and standing against middle-class families and seniors. But one thing we do know is there's a lot of money being spent. Both candidates are getting help from super PACs, with Karl Rove's Crossroads GPS putting in an additional $155,000 behind Bono Mack, and the Democratic House Majority PAC launching a new TV spot as part of a $285,000 ad campaign to support Dr. Ruiz. So that brings the total outside spending in the race now to about $3 million. And all the major kind of analysts who handicap House race across the country are calling this seat a toss-up. So we're not hurting for competitive races here in the inland region. And speaking of competitive races, this year's race for Hemet City Council is a crowded one. As I said, 9 candidates are running for just 3 seats, and there's going to be implications perhaps for police and fire protection. And here to help us explain all that is reporter Daryl Sanchi. He covers Hemet for us, and he's joining us by phone. So Daryl, I have to ask you, 9 candidates, why are so many people running for these 3 spots?
Well, I think you have really a convergence of a number of different factors to cause this to happen. For one thing, you've got 3 seats open on a 5-member city council, so you have a majority of seats on the council available. That usually brings out a big crowd. Then on top of that, you have only 1 incumbent in the race. Two of the new seats will be occupied by people who haven't been on the council before, so that spurs the interest too. Then on top of that, this comes at a time when public safety and quality of life issues are bringing people out of the woodwork in Hemet. A nurse was mugged in broad daylight earlier, and Facebook pages cropped up with thousands of followers. They had 2 public meetings this summer that drew hundreds of people clamoring for a crackdown on parolees, blight, crime, things like that. And at one of those meetings, County Supervisor Jeff Stone, who represents the Hemet area, suggested that Hemet and San Jacinto look at ways to cut costs, including the possibility of merging public safety agencies. That really got the fur flying. And then earlier this month, the Hemet City Council voted to seek bids, particularly from CAL FIRE, to potentially replace the Hemet Fire Department. All these things have sort of stirred interest in the campaign.
Okay, now I understand, maybe each of these candidates might have a slightly different take on how to provide police and fire protection. Can you talk about, some of the candidates and where they stand on public safety?
Sure. You have the sitting mayor, Robert Youssef, a Shelley Milne, who's a housewife and business owner, and Bob Coleman have formed a slate of candidates, which in itself is unusual in Hemet. And they want to look at, and probably to different degrees, actually pursue outsourcing public safety if they can save money and reduce some unfunded liabilities like pensions, which have been estimated at $50 million plus in Hemet. Then their primary opponents really come out against them. Bonnie Wright and Rick Cremeni oppose outsourcing, and they've been endorsed by the police and fire unions. Some of their supporters are also promoting the write-in candidacy of Brishan Cruz, who frankly admits he has an uphill battle, but he doesn't want the city to give up local control over fire and police. And you have another candidate, Gary Cook, who was endorsed by the firefighters, and he wants to keep Hemet Police and Fire, but he's willing to take at least some look at outsourcing if it will improve service as well as saving money. Then there are other candidates, Glenn Holmes, who has not campaigned much. He said the city should look at contracting with CAL FIRE and the County Sheriff's Department, but won't commit to whether that should definitely happen. And then you have Richard Avila. He's an alarm company sales rep who opposes contracting with the sheriff, but in a different twist for this race, he's open to San Jacinto contracting with the Hemet Police Department. So you really have a range of views here.
Wow. Well, it's amazing you can keep them all straight, and that's a credit to you, and good job, and we'll see what happens in Hemet. Thank you.
Thank you.
And once again, Jeff Horseman with the PressEnterpriseMP.com, thanking you for watching this edition of Political Empire, and be sure to check back to PE.com for the latest in inland political happenings as we count down the final hours to Election Day. Thank you very much.